devastating, violent, and demoralizing.
Get on your feet! This is Service Headline News. I'm your host, Marty Smith, and I'm joined by Mr. History, Eric Barrett.
Yo! What's going on, fellas?
And our man in the closet, Jake Wall.
Surrounded by flannel as usual.
We're here to bring you the latest headlines and updates pertinent to all servicemen and women. So take your seats, get informed, and have a laugh as the Swearing In Podcast presents Service Headline News. Woo. Oh, you damn dog.
And there was much rejoicing.
No, the dog just came up and wanted me to throw something to her and hit the latch on my seat, and I just went down 6 inches. Fucking dog.
Oh, man, too bad she didn't do that while you're in. That's 10% for PTSD in the Space Force.
Yeah.
Oh, we had to go there.
Try it
Space
again.
Force.
Try it again.
I was having a really good day. Space
Boom.
Force.
Were you leading to something, or?
No, I was just saying I was having a really good day until he said Space Force.
Until you said that horrible word.
And then I'm like thinking,
You know what?
Space Force.
You're just going to have to accept it, Eric.
You know what's funny? Guys, I went to Colorado Springs with some friends. My wife had a friend in from Vegas. So we took her down to the Springs and we went to Garden of the Gods, hiked around. And then we stopped at the Air Force Academy Visitor Center because I wanted some new shirts.
Oh.
And lo and behold, the Space Force has their own section now.
Good. Nice.
No, it's ridiculous. They're just,
Come on.
that's
You
bad,
say that
man.
now, but when we're fighting battles,
I'm a negative Lucy. I just don't.
Negative. I don't even think it has to rhyme. It's negative Nancy.
Fair enough. I'm a negative Nancy. Thank you, Jake.
I'm a lollygagging Lucy.
I think it's lucrative, Lucy.
Okay, but that's where I was going at. So I brought some
lucrative
Air Force-
Lucy is deployed on a carrier. That's what
Well,
lucrative
maybe
Lucy is.
maybe that's Eric's OnlyFans that we can't find.
Ah,
Maybe that's
lucrative Lucy.
I'm gonna have to attach a link for you.
Mhm. These lips sink ships.
oh my God!
Coming up,
I'm not gonna let my mom listen to this one.
the Icy Hot application next week. Woo!
All right.
But needless to
Next
say,
week,
the Space
boys,
Force is not my
Try
favorite topic.
biofreeze.
I know it's not Security Force guy,
Mm,
but
It's
you'll
fun,
be
though.
damn glad we have him in 30 years. So
I won't be here in 30 years.
you might be in space
You might.
with a bunch of Space Force people going, "Yeah, look at this old fucking man."
It's
He
more
never
about
liked
I'm
us
probably
anyway.
gonna be dead.
Eric, lead us off into some history today, would you?
All right,
Speaking of
I
you
got-
being history,
I got a good one for you. So, did you fellas see Oppenheimer? I know Marty did. Did you see it, Jake? You didn't see it?
I saw the Lego version.
Did you go see it?
Oppenheimer. Yes,
Did you go
I
see
did.
all 3 fucking hours of that?
I did.
No.
And it was crazy long, but it was really good because I had no idea of
The acting was good. I didn't realize the
how bad he
trial.
was being beat up.
Yeah.
So, sticking in that area of expertise, the atomic age, right? So, in August 29th, 1949, the Soviets get to explode their first atomic bomb.
Wow, it took him.
Yeah, the
How
race was
dare
on,
they.
and it wasn't until 1949. So, at a remote test site and I can't even say this Russian word, but it was in Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah, but it's a city.
That's what Borat.
Semipalatinsk in Kazakhstan.
Yeah, you can't.
USSR successfully detonates its first atomic bomb, codenamed First Lightning.
Ooh.
In order to measure the effects of the blast.
That was Russia's first.
It
atomic
was.
bomb?
Yeah.
That was the
That's
interpretation.
way
or did
better
they
than
actually...
Fat Boy.
I know.
Right? It sounds better. Fat boy, little boy, and fat man. Codenamed First
I
Lightning.
know.
In order to measure the effects of the blast, the Soviet scientists instructed buildings, bridges, and other civilian structures in the vicinity of the bomb. They also placed animals in cages nearby so they could test the effects of nuclear radiation on human-like mammals. The atomic explosion, which at 20 kilotons was roughly equal to Trinity, the first U.S. atomic explosion, destroyed those structures and incinerated the animals. On September 3rd, a U.S. spy plane flying over the coast of Siberia picked up the first evidence of radioactivity from the explosion. Later that month, President Harry S. Truman announced to the American people that the Soviets too had the bomb. And here's the connection, guys. 3 months later, Klaus Fuchs, Fuchs, ring a bell, Marty, for the movie?
Fuchs.
You're right. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. Klaus Fuchs, a German-born, I don't know how to pronounce his name, a German-born physicist who had helped the United States.
Give us a second.
Didn't you hear the name a dozen times in the movie?
I couldn't remember how to say it. I'm sorry.
That's valid. That's valid.
Klaus Fuchs.
I like Fletches.
He's a German-born physicist who had helped the United States build its first atomic bombs and was arrested for passing nuclear secrets to the Soviets.
Oh, that was the guy who they...
Yeah.
Okay.
Klaus.
While stationed at the U.S. Atomic Development Headquarters during World War II, Fuchs had given the Soviets precise information about the U.S. atomic program, including a blueprint of the Fat Man atomic bomb, later dropped on Japan, and everything that Los Alamos scientists knew about the...
He gave all that shit to the Soviets?
Yeah. Hypnotized hydrogen bomb.
Dude, if we could take back all the stuff that we've invented and other countries have stolen, it would, man, it would be amazing, right?
Well, but in all fairness, we had to steal German scientists to invent it.
We stole a bunch of people,
but we stole it fair and square.
Well, I wouldn't say we stole them. I think we saved them from a destructive.
Well, I think they've
from being hung in war crimes.
Yeah. So I want to finish this with just one more paragraph because you'll get a kick.
Tell me about Klaus Fuchs.
On November 1st, 1952, the United States successfully detonated Mike, the world's first hydrogen bomb, on the atoll in the Pacific Marshall Islands.
Mike?
It was called Mike.
That's worse than...
You want to give it a first thunder, not first lightning?
Batman, a little boy. Yeah, that's...
The 10.4 megaton thermonuclear device instantly vaporized an entire island and left behind a crater more than a mile wide. 3 years later, on November 22nd, 1955, the Soviet Union detonated its first hydrogen bomb on the same principle of radiation implosion. Both superpowers were now in possession of the so-called super bomb, and the world lived under the threat of thermonuclear war for the first time in history.
The Cold War started.
There you go. Mm-hmm. So the connection between Oppenheimer and the boys over in USSR, Mr. Fuchs, Fuchs, Klaus, freaking traitorous pig. But it was funny because in the movie they could never identify who it was until the very end. Yeah. But that was our gentleman traitor. So it is interesting that it took them that long. What did we detonate in 45?
Yeah, even though he gave him everything, they still took 4 more years to figure it out.
4 more years. Yeah.
But I wonder if that was the you got all the plans. But remember, I didn't realize how big in that movie what's it called where they were making the uranium and
the materials, right? The uranium as well as the plutonium.
Making fissionable material.
Yes.
I didn't realize how long that took. So maybe
that was hard.
Soviets,
one marble in the jar, remember?
That was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good. Then that was August 29th when the Soviets did that?
1949. Yep.
And the Cold War was on.
And by the way, happy birthday to the Marine Corps Reserves, same day.
Marine Corps Reserves?
Yep.
Oh.
Marine Corps Reserves.
They get a birthday for the reserves?
They do.
Yeah. Must be a lesser known birthday.
I don't know what the year was.
They don't get 2 layers on their cake.
It was August 29th.
All right, let's get on to the news. A lot of bad news, right? A lot of the three pilots in the Marines passed. I can't remember how many more were there. 8 more guys on that Osprey that went down. There's an F-35 Marine pilot that went down. So let's go on to some happier news. Where do we go for happy news? We go to the Coast Guard.
I thought you were going to say freaking Space Force.
Well, where do we go for operational news? And that is the Coast Guard.
The Coast Guard. Right. So hail to the Coast Guard again. And Eric, I need you to weigh in on this story. All right.
Right on.
Because it's about divers. So from taskandpurpose.com, how the Coast Guard rescued 4 lost divers. All right. So guess which 4 are the divers that were in the water for 12 hours?
I can already tell.
It ain't the ones on the left.
No, it's the young kid with the water bottle on his shoulder.
It's the 4 guys with no undershirt on.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just wearing coveralls.
Some manly chest stuff going on.
So the Coast Guard and Navy rescued 4 lost divers 46 miles from shore after an air crew spotted their flashlight with night vision equipment. The 4 divers had been missing for about 14 hours, and the sun had set long ago. It was a moonless night, and the only means they had to mark their position was 1 flashlight. Despite the long odds, a Coast Guard plane managed to spot the divers in the middle of the endless ocean and call in a Navy destroyer to pick them out of the water. The 4 divers, whose ages range from 16 to 64, have been diving with scuba gear about 63 miles east of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, when they went missing on August 13th. The group had gone spearfishing that morning, but the current and strong seas caused the divers to resurface far from their boat. The boat driver reported the divers, I guess so far that the boat driver was like, hey, these guys are missing. I don't know where they are.
Yeah,
I guess when they came up, they couldn't see it.
It already sounds fishy. So if they are not with a group and a dive master, there should have been a dive buoy that somebody was holding as they're diving and moving along. The buoy's on the surface, so the boat can track the buoy.
Well, it sounds like they didn't take any of those precautions.
So that's a problem.
So the boat driver reported the divers missing at 2 p.m.
Clearly, it was a problem, Eric. Yeah. In the water for 12 hours.
That's a good call. Yeah. Well,
you're so mad at him.
I'm upset with the fact that you get into water that you automatically feel that you're drifting, because I've been on many drift dives in Mexico, and it's because you're doing a drift dive that your driver follows your bubbles or the buoy.
Yeah.
So with a drift, they should have immediately surfaced, let their driver know, hey, we're moving fast. You need to stay with us, or have a buoy that the driver could check.
Well, it sounded like they had neither.
Yeah, right.
When they came up, even the boat guy couldn't find, because the boat guy was the one who reported.
Called him in.
Yeah. The Coast Guard cutter Yellowfin, Coast Guard cutter Saltfish, an MH-60 Jayhawk helicopter from Coast Guard Air Station Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and an HC-130J Hercules from Elizabeth City all scoured the ocean in search of the missing divers. Finding divers in the water is difficult in any conditions, and searches for them are often unsuccessful because they wear dark wetsuits. Why? I want to ask that. Why?
Yeah, what is the deal with that? Like,
why not make every wetsuit safety orange or something like that?
Freaking
they have
zebra stripe or something. Right?
Something white.
They have them. It is interesting.
Is black.
Yeah, mine was black, and it was a shorty wetsuit.
If you'd like to see Eric in his slimming wetsuit, you can join his Patreon or his OnlyFans.
Find the link. The link will be attached.
International man of history.
Woo!
At OnlyFans.
Making things even more difficult, it was pitch black as the HC-130J looked for the 4 divers. Basically, what saved their lives was they had MVGs and the divers had a flashlight. So they were able to spot them. The Coast Guard spotted them. they called in the Navy. I'm trying to see where the ship was, but they called, but it got shipped over to a Navy boat that came over. The Coast Guard dropped a raft for him. The Navy came in and picked him up out of the raft. So
I find it. I'd like to know who was the most qualified diver and how much experience he
right,
had.
Right.
Because
maybe it was the 16-year-old in the picture. Don't worry, Dad, I got you.
Because I mean, it doesn't take, a brain scientist to go, hey, if we're drifting,
can you tell if you have no reference under there, right? If
you can tell if you're drifting, you're moving. You can okay. Absolutely. If there's a current, you will move and you will know it.
Really?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I just thought if with no reference, it's like, how do you know you're drifting around, right?
Yeah. No, you could tell. I mean, I knew guys that we dove with in Mexico that would have a board, a whiteboard that you could write underwater and tell, hey, we're drifting. Yeah. If you separate from us, surface immediately, let the boat know. So we would all stay together.
Okay.
Yeah, so we wouldn't lose touch.
Right, and so now that you're saying that, it is crazy that these guys drifted that far
and didn't realize
even the boat couldn't see him.
Yeah.
God dang. So,
and that's why I said, if you know you're drifting, you need to at least surface right away and let the boat know before you're 3 miles away, 4 miles away.
Yeah, sure.
So
maybe
most divers have some type of noisemaker. Like I had a whistle attached to my BCD. So if I was in the water and I surfaced and the boat was still far away, I could whistle. It echoes. So there's safety precautions to take. I think that was just
for some reason planning. I had underwater whistle and I was like,
No, on the surface.
How well can that work?
I think it was poor planning. I don't know for sure, but it certainly sounds.
Oh, absolutely.
Poor planning.
Yeah, absolutely. But Coast Guard found him. And they have some video where it's just it's gray because they're looking through NVGs, and it's shadow on shadow. And
I will tell you guys right now, when you are bobbing in the water on the surface at night without a flashlight, that is some scary shit. Because all you see is jaws in your mind coming after you of some sort. I'm telling you. I did many night dives, and the only time I ever got nervous was on the surface waiting for the boat to come pick me up.
No kidding.
And I had my flashlight still on. I was constantly looking around to make sure that was coming up. But that used to scare the shit out of me.
I can imagine.
So
it'd be so dark. I mean,
it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially on a moonless night. Yeah. Moonless night. You got nothing. You got no light.
Yeah, ambient light at all.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing.
Just dark. And when you do a night dive, you take a primary light and a backup. Every diver should have a primary flashlight and a backup light.
Well, it sounds like they had at least one of them saved their lives. So.
Yeah.
Well, and they probably hadn't planned on a night dive, to be honest with you.
No, that's probably true.
That's probably true.
The guy reported him missing at 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So, all right. You guys familiar with Air Force Academy football uniforms?
Cool.
Oh yeah,
man.
They're kind of plain, but kind of classic, right? I think they're.
They got the lightning bolt on the helmet, or the AF.
The white helmet with the blue lightning bolt, and I think it's just blue and white. I think. Do they have a lightning? I
think they have a silver one too.
Do they have a lightning bolt like the Chargers do on the side of their pants, or is it just?
It's a different. Yeah,
it's on their helmet. I don't think it's on their pants. I don't think they have a lightning bolt.
Oh, they got one on their shoulder, I think, right?
To see Eric in the lightning bolt on his pants outfit.
I had a good photo shoot with that.
Eric's pants lightning. They call him Gray Lightning.
Gray Lightning.
Don't blink, ladies. It only flashes once.
We may have to edit this particular piece.
Oh no, that's gonna run. That's the theme today.
I need only serious visitors to my site.
No, you just need people to pay $7.99.
Hey, traffic's traffic, Eric.
Yeah, that's right. You don't care. You just want to.
Traffic's traffic.
You don't care who's on the other side of those clicks.
Oh man. I'll tell you what, going back to what we were talking about, all the services, when they go to their alternate uniforms, especially the Army, they had one last year that had a tank on the side of their helmet, and the helmet was that subdued black.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Son of a bitch, that looked good, man.
A couple of years ago, they had a 25th Infantry Division one. I ordered that shirt. In fact, I ordered the shirt for this one from the Air Force.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But the Air Force, so what they did was they came out with an alternate uniform that they're going to wear against Navy, and they debuted it. But this is from the Air Force Times. The Air Force, they call it the Doolittle football uniform. After Colonel Doolittle. So the Air Force defends the Doolittle football uniform from online critics. Of course, there's always a critic, right?
Who cares?
First of all, don't address it. Just don't address it.
Well, that's true. You're just like, yeah, suck it. We're going to do it anyway.
We're going to do it anyway. Yeah.
So this should, oh, sorry. I'll just let you.
See, I think that shit looks cool, man.
Yeah, that bomber's really cool. So, the Air Force Academy has a new alternate uniform honoring airmen that carried out the World War II Doolittle raid on Japan. The Falcons' alternative uniform unveiled last week will honor the pilots and crew of the 1942 Doolittle raid on Tokyo and other Japanese cities after the Japanese bombing of Pearl Harbor. One of the Academy's posts on X has racked up nearly 8 million views.
Wow.
8 million? How do you get 8? Oh, no, that's Air Force Academy. We can't get, well, we got 1,000.
We did get 1,000.
Comments have ranged from awesome uniforms honoring our heroes to this is awful taste and zero class.
I totally disagree with that.
I do too. The uniforms themselves feature a chrome helmet with a B-25 on the front, right where that holds the face mask, and nicknames of specific planes or Doolittle on the back, honoring Lieutenant Colonel James H. Jimmy Doolittle, who led the attack. The decision to honor the Raiders has caused some negative pushback.
But okay, wait. So just for the civilians out there, the Doolittle Raiders, Japan had bombed the US, right?
Yeah.
We could not get anywhere close to bombing Japanese mainland.
No.
Like we were nowhere near it.
And actually Japan counted on that because they knew we didn't have anything that could range.
We had nothing within that range. And these guys modified an aircraft beyond anything close to anything flight specs. They were the first guys to take bombers off of an aircraft carrier, and not one of the huge aircraft carriers we see today. This is a prop. This is a prop aircraft taking off of a short moving freaking carrier in northern freaking Atlantic or northern Pacific waters. And the best case scenario, if everything went right, they would probably crash in mainland China.
Escape.
Occupied by friendly. Probably.
They took
Worst
off.
Scenario, you die. Most of them took off knowing full well they would never even get close to meeting.
They weren't coming back to the carrier. Right.
Yeah.
Much less the land. Yeah.
They would take off, and their best case scenario is they crash in China.
That's crazy.
And hope that it's not Japanese occupied.
And they had.
And the killer part, every one of them volunteered to go because Doolittle asked.
Right.
They volunteered to go.
And they had no weapons. They had nothing but gas and bombs on the plane.
They had to strip down everything out of that aircraft off the people, basically, just to hope to make it into a bad situation.
That whole sequence was actually the saving grace of Pearl Harbor, the movie.
Yep.
They actually did that part well.
Yeah.
On this uniform, Marty, Jake, the rivets around the numbers.
Yeah, I do like
cool,
the rivet.
right?
Yeah.
That is so cool, man.
So they've got numbers on their numbers look like riveted metal.
That
really
shit
cool.
is cool.
But here's where some of the pushback came, right? The decision to honor the Raiders has caused some negative pushback. Some found it distasteful and dishonorable to use the quote-unquote ambush as something to showcase on a football uniform. Other social media users disliked the correlations between football and war, and
it's
that it was
the Air Force,
and that it was honoring the bombing of a country that is currently a U.S. ally. That's you're working really hard to find distress or unrest with that, right?
Yeah. First of all, it's a military branch academy.
Yeah.
Their whole job is to
bomb
go
and kill
to war.
shit. Yes.
The only reason Japan is an ally now is because they bombed the living piss out of most of their islands.
Thank you, Sir Jake. You said it well.
Right.
That's the only reason.
What a terrible argument. That is just a retarded
I hear you. But here's the best one, right? So
I'm biased though.
The Air Force Academy had a post that they showed maybe in there, but the guy's in full football uniform and he's holding a headline that says Tokyo bomb, and the quote, "The Japanese were apparently entirely unprepared for our arrival." So they posted him in his uniform, like holding a newspaper headline that said that. So this guy responded. I got to give him props. This guy said, "Oof. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people died, and we get a post like this while Air Force can't throw the ball 20 yards downfield."
All right.
That's true. They do run the option offense, and they rarely throw the ball. So that's the
By the way,
one.
I think you'll see a little change in that this year, by the way.
Why is that?
Oh, you got some inside scoop?
Well, I think Calhoun likes his new quarterback, and I think you're going to see him spread the ball around a little more, other than a 3-man option. Yeah.
Well, I mean, based on the talent, if he's got the talent.
Yep.
Or more spreading of balls around.
I remember when D. Dallas was throwing the ball all over the place.
Eric's OnlyFans page.
I can't wait to see how many people are. Wouldn't you like to see the
sneak peek of ball spreading?
I'm trying to find this guy Eric Perot's OnlyFans freaking link. I can't find it.
It's Mr. History. That's what
History.
The Doolittle uniforms get their first outing on October 21st for the game against the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland.
I think they're awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
I think they're awesome. I wonder what the Navy's alternate uniform looks like this year. Because I remember one year they had the big aircraft carrier on the side.
They did. No,
that was cool too.
How dare they? Yeah. How dare they have a vehicle of war on the side of their helmet like that?
Dude, I think the service academies do it right.
Was it the USS Enterprise? Which version of the USS Enterprise? All right, let's move on to sports. From Stripes.com. From World War II to Wimbledon, test pilot turned tennis champ Vic Seixas is turning 100 tomorrow on August 30th. He's turning
Happy
100.
birthday, man. That's amazing.
Nice.
100 years old. That's badass.
I'm not sure I'm going to see 100.
Seems like a lot.
It does.
There he is.
That's man. Oh, he's got the Hap Arnold wings on.
That's Vic Seixas, is how you say his last name.
All right, Vic, looking good back in the day, buddy.
A champion of multiple major tennis tournaments who also flew over the Pacific as a U.S. Army Air Corps test pilot, which is kind of a misnomer. He wasn't really a test pilot. Well, he was, but not in the classic sense of a Chuck Yeager test pilot. He plans to celebrate his 100th birthday on Wednesday.
Wow.
Vic Seixas, a native of Philadelphia, was playing tennis at a university in North Carolina when World War II broke out. So he got commissioned as a second lieutenant in 1943 and trained as a pilot. Seixas said he deployed to New Guinea. I was stationed at an Army Air Corps depot that assembled aircraft and repaired planes that were already there. The planes he took up for test flights in New Guinea, P-38 Lightning, P-40 Warhawk, P-47 Thunderbolt, and P-51 Mustang.
Oh, he flew some badass planes.
A-20 Havoc, B-25 Mitchell, and B-24 Liberator. They arrived on cargo ships. There were a few of us that checked them out and made sure they were okay, he added.
Dude, and I like how that is so subdued. He's like,
Cavalier.
we just checked them. We checked them out, made sure they were okay. First of all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different airframes.
No way.
7 different airframes, and not just all like heavies, not all bombers. No, he's got freaking fighters in there. He's got he's got 2 bombers,
all made by different companies. So it's not like I jumped into a Chevy Colorado and then a Chevy Equinox and then a Chevy Malibu, and they're all the same.
No.
And you're novice,
Douglas,
civilian wouldn't understand the difference in how intricate those airframes are from each other.
Right.
Oh man!
But you're right. Amazing. He's all Cavalier. He's like, we just get in and we take them up for a while.
Make sure they're okay. That's all you do.
And he's turning 100. Even better.
So he said he didn't have any real harrowing experiences as a test pilot. Just doing it would seem harrowing. We were there to find out. I mean, if you get into a 5-ton or a deuce and a half, those are 2 different driving trucks. Right?
Yes, they are.
They're 2 different driving trucks. Now he's getting into a P-38, a twin boom fighter, and a B-24 Liberator. Completely different. Yeah. They're like, no big deal. No big deal.
And I can't imagine all the controls are the same. They're not even close.
Exactly. It's like, the ignition's up here this time. It's not down here by my feet.
It's like saying I'm fluent in 18 foreign languages. Jeez.
So he got out in 1946, started playing tennis, was a great amateur champion. He turned pro in 68. He won Wimbledon in 1953 and the U.S. Open in 1954. So, wow. And he's turning 100. That still blows me away.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Vic.
In honor of Vic's 100th birthday, I thought I'd put you through another round of Guess the Branch.
Well, hold on, though. You missed like his greatest achievement.
Well, I did. What?
Is being honored on the Smucker's Top 100.
Oh, I missed that completely.
Yeah, remember that? That jelly, the Smucker's jelly brings out the birthdays every year. No, it's on like Good Morning America or some crap. Smuckers have sponsored the people turning 100 for.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Forever.
Really?
Yeah, the Smucker's Top 100 right there.
I'm glad you picked that up. Good one. Good.
You're welcome.
That's amazing.
Happy birthday, Vic from Smuckers. So I thought I'd put you 2 through another round of Guess the Branch, but this is the athlete version.
The athlete version.
All right. And I put a little more information on there this time, so it's a little bit better read instead of just like who they are. Because you'll probably guess the branch on most of these. There's not that There's not that much variance on these guys, and you may guess them, but there's a little bit more history on these guys. All right. Can you see it?
Yep.
So I start off with the easy one, Pat Tillman, right?
All right, Pat.
Kind of knows Pat Tillman.
Ranger.
So he played for the Arizona Cardinals. He played 4 seasons, 98 to 2001. 374 tackles, 3 interceptions, 2.5 sacks. And he went into the Army. God, I got too many things open up.
The Army. That's a damn shame.
Yeah. He's an Army from 2002 to 2004.
A hell of a jawline right there.
Woo. Oh, yeah. I think he's got a brother that looks real similar to him, too, I think.
He's got the look of a badass. I am a badass. I am here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
He enlisted in the Army. He gave up his career. He was a safety. He gave up his career, enlisted in the Army after 9/11. He was part of the Army's invasion of Iraq in September 2003 before being deployed to Afghanistan. So he went to Iraq and then got shipped over to Afghanistan, where he was killed by friendly fire in April 2004.
Fratricide.
He was posthumously awarded with numerous decorations, including a Purple Heart, Silver Star, promotion of corporal, and having his jersey retired by both Arizona State and the Arizona Cardinals. But the thing that blows me away about that is not that he gave up his NFL career, but he gave up his NFL career and went enlisted when he had a degree. He could have gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they promoted him posthumously to corporal. This is a guy who was making at least a couple mil a year.
Easily. Yeah.
True patriot.
No doubt about it. A lot of respect for that guy, man.
Okay. Next, you probably know these first couple are gimmies. Okay. Next up, David Robinson.
You're in the Navy now.
Navy.
Navy.
That's right. He was in the Navy from 87 to 89. I guess he didn't start playing basketball until late. So he took the SAT. He got a 1320 on his SAT.
Holy shit.
So he got an Naval Academy posting. He grew. He was 6'6" as a senior. He had grown to 6'8" when he started college and was 2 inches above the Navy height limit. He received a waiver to gain acceptance and was a staff officer in the Civil Engineer Corps. After being selected number 1 in the 87 draft, Robinson fulfilled his 2-year commitment as a civil engineering officer before making his debut with the San Antonio Spurs in 1989.
Very cool.
2-time champion, 1-time MVP.
That's a hell of a SAT score too, man. Damn.
1320, yeah.
God.
Smart SOB.
Smart dude, yep.
All right, classic. Roger Staubach.
You're in the Navy now.
He was in the Navy. That's why I put those up there, because I figured you would know these, right?
Yeah.
Roger Staubach, 11 seasons, 69 to 79, 2-time Super Bowl champion, 22,700 passing yards. He was in the Navy from 1965 to 1969. After graduating from the Naval Academy in 65, he had a 4-year military commitment and spent part of that time in Vietnam. He's a supply corps officer for 1 year during the war and then spent the rest of his commitment in the United States. While still with the Navy in 68, Staubach used his annual military leave to attend the Dallas Cowboys rookie camp and officially joined the team 1 year later.
That's cool.
That's pretty badass. Okay. Now here's where it starts, where I'm not sure if you know who these guys are. A lot of them are old guys. This first one's a really old guy, but you should recognize the names, right? Ty Cobb.
Ooh.
Right?
Definitely recognizing from the baseball career, not the
military career.
Military career.
Well, he played Major League Baseball for 24 seasons from 1905 to 1928.
4 seasons.
Look at that batting average. Lifetime batting average of 366.
Yeah, you don't see that anymore.
Well, of course, you didn't have the pitching that they had.
Right.
Yeah, 366 average for 24 years. Not 5 years. You're like,
That's
oh,
right.
366. That's impressive. How about 24? You're
That's
like,
pretty badass.
Man.
Yeah.
He was 1911 MVP and he was a 12-time batting champion. So, Eric, what branch was he in?
So here's my thinking. So there's no Air Force. I mean, you had the Navy and the Army, Marines, but I'm going to go Army. This says Army to me.
All right.
I'll lean Navy.
Oh. He was in the Army.
Oh, nice.
In 1918. World War I.
Wow.
In the middle.
So
67 days.
He spent 67 days in France as part of the chemical warfare branch of the Army. He was given the role of captain, and I like this part. In his group were Christy Mathewson and George Sisler, 2 other players in the Baseball Hall of Fame. They trained soldiers in prep for chemical attacks by exposing them to gas chambers. That contributed to Christy Mathewson contracting tuberculosis.
Damn.
Well done, Army.
Oh. We
Ty
strike
Cobb is in the
again,
Army.
man.
Very
Strike
good, Eric.
again.
Up on Jake early. Joe Louis, boxer, 1934 to 1951, 66-3.
Dang, man.
With 52 knockouts. And he was a heavyweight champion once. 1935, he was the AP Athlete of the Year. What is your branch guess, Jake?
I'm going Navy again.
Oh.
Yeah, you remember the last time we did this, and I always said, it seems that the African Americans always wanted to be in the Navy.
Oh, here we go.
Well, you remember I said that, right?
Yes, we remember you said that.
So,
surprisingly, I got no comments on that.
Yeah, I am going to go with Jake. I think he's Navy.
Joe Louis was in the Army.
Oh, bam.
1942 to 1945. Joe Louis was in the middle of his reign as heavyweight champion when the attack on Pearl Harbor took place. 1 month later, Louis enlisted in the Army, where he was placed in the Special Services Division rather than being sent into combat. That was so the Army could take advantage of his popularity, and he took part in nearly 100 boxing exhibitions to entertain fellow soldiers. That's just like Captain America, right?
Yeah.
He's got the face of a Marine, man, doesn't he?
He's got the face of somebody you don't want to mess with. That's
no doubt.
No way.
He did defend us. Go ahead.
No, I was going to comment on that last line.
Oh, he defended his title twice during a 3-year stint and was released from military service in October 1945.
Yeah, so the Army released him. They're like, okay, go defend your title. And then he comes back, and then he's still on in the Army.
Yeah.
They're like, just go do that on leave. Or do you think it was was it a TDY or something?
Well, he's kind of the forefather of the all Army boxing team or all Army football team or softball team. You know, the guy's in, but his unit never sees him.
Yeah.
And it sounded like he was just doing, I don't know if he was doing money raises or what, but pretty badass. Have a heavyweight champ who decided to get in.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right. Yogi Berra, famous catcher for the Yankees, Yogi Berra. He played 19 seasons from 46 to 63. And then another season in 65. He's a 3-time MVP, 10-time World Series winner.
That's crazy. 10 times World Series.
You know, that was a handful of teams back then.
Wow.
Right? There was 10, 12 teams or whatever.
Yankees.
18-time All-Star. All right, Eric, your turn. You're up 1-0.
So I played baseball and I was a catcher. And I always thought I was a badass. So I'm thinking Yogi was a Marine.
Ooh.
He was a catcher. He was a Marine.
That's good logic. I like it.
I'm going Army. I'm leaning Army.
Only it stayed on. Navy.
Come on.
I go back to half a point because the Marines fall under the Navy.
No.
You do not. We've already disputed that, and you've lost that.
I got you.
Navy, 1943 and 1945. Yogi Berra's time with the Navy took place before his Major League Baseball career began, and it started when he was just 18 years old. A month after his 19th birthday, Berra was on Utah Beach during D-Day. It was part of a 6-man crew on a Navy rocket boat. I didn't know we had those.
That's cool.
The boat fired machine guns and launched rockets while also being fired upon, but Berra was never hit. So,
wow.
Yogi
I'm sure
Berra
he's seen a few things. I'd love that.
But, you know, that life was so hard for those guys. That was like nothing to them.
I guess.
So, all right. Chuck Bednarik.
Jeez, look at that guy, though.
Yeah. Played for the Philadelphia Eagles.
The linebacker, wasn't he?
Linebacker or defensive line? I can't remember which one. 14
seasons
here,
from
49 to 62. 2-time NFL champion, 8-time Pro Bowler, 20 interceptions. So that does lead me to believe that maybe he was the linebacker.
Yeah.
But look at that
number.
Profile. That's
dude, that is Marine all the way.
Yeah, that sounds.
He looks like a Marine.
That says I'm going to be a Marine.
Chuck Bednarik was in the Air Force.
Oh my God, are you serious?
The Army Air Corps from 43 to 45. After graduating high school in 1943, Chuck Bednarik joined the Air Force as a waist gunner in a B-24 Liberator.
I'll be damned.
He took part in 30 bombing missions over Germany and was awarded an Air Medal and 4 Battle Stars. He then returned home, attended Penn, played for Philadelphia Eagles, nicknamed Concrete Charlie. Bednarik was the last of the NFL's 60-minute men and played both center and linebacker.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow.
He never came off the field. Jeez.
He's an Iron Man.
The whole time.
For 14 years. Jesus.
For 14 years.
God, it's crazy, isn't it?
Well, look at his nose. It only looks like it's been broke on the picture on the left.
Right.
30 times, the guy on the right. It's like, wow.
Okay. We're still 1-0. You guys haven't gotten the point yet.
Jeez.
We're horrible at this.
I guess I'm going to stop going on appearance.
Arnold Palmer.
Arnold was in the military, huh?
Arnold
Not
was in
only
the
a
military.
delicious tea lemonade drink.
My wife said the same thing.
Yeah, nice. See,
Uh,
I'm going. Oh, did you want to read out his stats first? Sorry,
his
buddy.
pro career was 54 to 2006, 62 PGA Tour wins, 7 major championships, 2-time PGA Tour Player of the Year.
Ooh.
Wow, hell of a golfer.
Yeah.
Jake, who do you think? What do you think?
Air Corps, Army,
Air
Air,
Corps.
or Air Force, Air Force.
Air Force. Well, we relaxed. The judges have relaxed their stance on
Yeah, thanks.
our Air Corps and Air Force. So,
All right, I'm going to go Army.
and Arnold Palmer was in the Coast Guard.
Horrible at this.
1951 to 1954, Arnold Palmer was attending Wake Forest on a golf scholarship when he dropped out in 1951 to enlist in the Coast Guard. While at the Coast Guard Training Center in New Jersey, Palmer designed and built his first golf course, a 9-hole pitch and putt layout. He was discharged in 1954.
I wonder if he was just, I want to do my time for the country, serve my country kind of thing.
Maybe. Or maybe it's like, hey, I don't want them to come out. I don't know. I don't think there was a draft back then. Yeah, I think they had done away with the draft, but maybe.
Well, no, because in Vietnam they were still being drafted.
But if you're into designing golf courses or playing golf,
Yeah.
Coast Guard would probably give you the best shot to play here in the United States.
I wouldn't have thought Coast Guard.
Right.
I got to be honest. Yeah, after all our praising of the Coast Guard, it wasn't even on my list.
No, I know. It's like if I said Merchant Marines, that kind of
You're like, what? That's not a thing, is it?
Eric, do you think Arnold Palmer's better known for his individual accomplishments or for his golf course designs?
Individual accomplishments on the golf course.
Because I think he's like the foremost golf course designer.
Well, he was.
He was. But...
Yeah. I know. I still believe what he obtained individually as a golfer.
7 major championships.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot disqualify the drink either.
No. The
It
Arnold
is light and
Palmer.
refreshing. That's true. That's a content idea for you, Eric.
Okay.
Just wear your golf bottoms drinking an Arnold Palmer
Right on.
with your putter in your hand.
I only do that on OnlyFans.
That's what I'm saying. That's content.
That's my
There you
butter.
Ted Williams. Baseball, 19 seasons, 1939 to 42 and 46 to 60. 2-time MVP, 2-time Triple Crown, 521 home runs. God dang.
Big Ted was in the Air Force.
Hell of a hitter.
Let's go back to the Navy.
Oh.
I'm purely just guessing.
Look at that.
Here.
He's a Marine?
So Ted Williams had 2 stints.
Oh, Navy and Marine.
Navy.
He was in the Navy from 42 to 46, and then he got called back while he was in the Marine Reserves from 52 to 53. So,
wow.
So
Ted
I get
Williams.
1.5 points for that? Because the Marines are half.
we'll give you 1. We'll give you 1.
Hey, didn't they? I know, like Pappy Boyington, right? He was in 2 services.
Was he?
Yeah, he flew in China with the Flying Tigers before becoming a Marine.
Oh yeah, but they were kind of mercenaries.
What I was getting at is, I think they bounced around services a lot more frequently than
That
they
was
do.
easier, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
I
a
think
lot
they
less
went back and
paperwork
forth.
to do.
Yeah.
So he was a naval aviator during World War II, but was allowed to leave training in 19. This is crazy. So he signs up, he goes through Navy training, and then in 42, he's allowed to leave training to go accept his Triple Crown award, and then right back into training. He developed into such a good pilot that he became a flight instructor. In the 6 years in between his 2 stints, Williams won 2 MVP awards and his 2nd Triple Crown. For his second stint, he played in just 6 games in the 1952 season before being recalled to active duty for the Korean War. He was a captain of the Marine Corps Reserves at this point and was deployed for 15 months. Williams flew a total of 39 missions and earned many accolades and medals during his military tenure.
He was my hero for dating Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, that's right. Man. Yeah, well, look at this guy. He's playing for the Red Sox, Triple Crown hitter, probably the best hitter in baseball at that time. Goes in the Navy, becomes a pilot.
And good at it.
Right? Goes back, plays some more baseball, wins some more championships. Goes back as a Marine. Now he's a Marine pilot. Actually goes for 15 months, and then he gets with Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, he's my hero.
Career.
I know.
Arthur Ashe, tennis player Arthur Ashe.
Wow.
His pro career was 1969-1980. I'm not going to read those stats. It's crazy. He's a 3-time Grand Slam winner and the 1975 ATP Player of the Year.
Hell of a tennis player, man.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Was he the first black male tennis player to have that much success?
I don't know.
I don't either. But they never, they hang that title on everything nowadays.
Yeah.
But I never heard him referred to as the first black. He was just a great tennis player.
Yeah.
I guess that's where we need to go anyway, right? All right. Not dithering around. What's
this one's on Jake?
Oh, it's on me.
Mm-hmm.
You tied up 1-1 finally, right?
Well, I'm gonna go to I'm going counter Eric and going Army. Thank you, Marty.
I'm not going to go Navy.
Why not? You're breaking your own rule.
Because I don't think he was in the Navy. I actually think he was in the Army too. Because of the time frame.
Arthur Ashe was in the Army.
Yeah.
1966 to 1969. He played tennis. He was a tennis player, was a member of ROTC during his time at UCLA. After graduating in 66, he joined the Army where he worked as a data processor at West Point.
Oh, nice.
This little bit here. While in the Army, Ashe had to maintain his amateur status in tennis since there wasn't enough time for him to be both a pro and an active Army member. As a result, when Ashe won the $14,000 first place prize at a tournament, he could not accept it and instead just got $280 and a $20 stipend for 14 days. That's so sucky.
Yeah,
man, that's rough.
Well done, Army.
Like 14 grand's nothing to laugh at now, but
back then,
14
yes.
14 grand in the 66 area.
Yeah. I bought you 2 new houses, man.
Yeah, it could have
2
been.
new houses for $6 grand.
Oh, how about we whittle it down to $280?
Yeah,
I'll get you a nice call.
I'm sorry, Arthur. That was bad.
Yeah, they got
Ken
you good.
Norton Sr., boxer Ken Norton Sr. His pro career went from 67 to 81. He was 42-7 with 33 KOs, and he beat Ali. And he was a one-time heavyweight champion.
Again, early 60s, late 50s.
Huh?
I'm going to go Army.
Okay. We're 2-2 now, since you both bailed on the Navy and chose Army. So
yeah, I'll make it fun, and we'll go Navy.
Right? He was in the Marines.
Jeez.
1963 to 1967. He was nicknamed the Fighting Marine. Ken Norton took up boxing while serving in the Marines. He won 3 all-Marine heavyweight titles and then decided to turn pro after being discharged.
Wow, so the Marines started even boxing.
He was a terror.
Wow.
He was a terror while he was in.
Marines.
Ken Norton Sr. in the Marines. Rocky Blyer.
I know this one.
I think I misspelled that. Rocky Blair.
Rocky good. Blyer. That works, Eric, because you have to go first.
Yeah, he was Army.
Yeah.
Rocky Blyer played for Pittsburgh Steelers for 11 seasons. 4-time Super Bowl champion, 3,800 rushing yards, 25 touchdowns.
I seen a special on him. He was Army.
Oh, Oh.
Well, I'll go
Might as well
Army
jump
too.
on
Then.
that.
Yeah.
Rocky Blyer was in the Army, 1968 to 69. Now read this little bit. So after limited playing time as a rookie with the Pittsburgh Steelers in 68, Rocky Blyer was drafted into the Army for the Vietnam War, where he operated a grenade launcher. His group was ambushed and had a grenade land near them, which caused shrapnel into his lower leg and resulted in the loss of part of his foot.
Yeah.
He went through several surgeries, but vowed to return to the football field after getting a letter in the hospital from Steelers owner Art Rooney. Blyer spent the entire 1970 season on injured reserve while rehabbing, then returned to the field in 1971 and played 10 more years like it's nothing.
Yep.
Missing part of your foot.
Nick. Yeah.
These guys were tough, man. It's tough.
That kind of injury today, you think, oh my God, how could this guy even walk? Right?
Rocky Blyer in the Army.
Hard to claim 100% if you go lose a half a foot and then.
Hey, can I get 10% for this? They're like, aren't you making several hundred?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, before you start on this guy, he works out at my gym.
Currently?
Bobby Lashley works out at 24 Hour Fitness in Parker.
Kidding me? Wow.
No.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So
all your unauthorized gym pictures of Bobby Lashley, go see Mr. History's OnlyFans.
Bobby Lashley, pro wrestling and mixed martial arts. He started in 2005. He's 11-time champion, 6-time world champion, and a 15-2 MMA record. So he works out in your gym. Do you know what branch of service?
I believe I do.
Oh man, it's my turn to go first.
Well, wait. Oh, that's tough.
Yep.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure, Jake.
That's a lot of pressure. He looks like an Army guy.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. No, I'm not going to say I'm pretty sure. I think he's Air Force.
Oh. Bobby Lashley was Army 2000 and 2003.
Good call, Jake. Damn, I remember having a conversation with him at the gym. I knew he was military, and I thought he was Air Force. Because
he's still in that kind of shape?
Oh, yeah. He still wrestles.
Oh, he's still on the circuit?
Yeah.
The WWE?
Yeah.
But look at his neck back in the Army days. Like his freaking neck. Yeah. It's just like that collar's almost squished up between his neck and his freaking shoulders there. It's crazy.
In 1999, after graduating from Missouri Valley College, he joined the Army and qualified for its world-class athletes program, stationed in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Lashley trained in the Olympic training camp there, where his workout included brisk walks up Pikes Peak.
Wow.
He became a 2-time Armed Forces champion, won a silver medal at the 2002 Conseil International du Sport Militaire, International Military Sports Council World Games. He got out in 2002.
I'll be down.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
good call. He's a big dude, man. He is a big dude.
How tall do you think he is? Is he your height?
He's a little taller than me, probably 6'2", 6'1".
Oh, dang, man.
Yeah, he's big. Nice guy, though. We'll talk to you. Say hi. No problem.
That's good.
He's a good dude.
All right. Mike Anderson, running back for the Broncos. Pro career was 8 seasons, 2007. He was Offensive Rookie of the Year, 4,000 rushing yards, 42 touchdowns.
My turn.
Your turn.
Definitely Navy.
Jeez, man.
If you don't get us notoriety, I don't know what.
We're going to get canceled before we're started. I'm going, I'll go Air Force.
Mike Anderson. I don't have a picture of him in the military. I searched high and low. I could not find it. But Mike Anderson was in the Marines.
Oh, Mike.
From 92 to 96. Since he didn't participate in sports in high school, Mike Anderson wasn't on anyone's radar, so he bypassed college to join the Marines. He was a comm specialist who was deployed on peacekeeping missions to Kenya and Somalia, while also playing on the Marines contact football team.
Wow, that's cool.
Is that what, when you played in Turkey, was it known as a contact football team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all the Air Force, Lakenheath, all the the German bases.
But they were called contact football teams, I guess. Or
well, it was just full.
football.
It was full contact.
Yeah, I didn't know if that term was in there or not.
So in Turkey, though, when I played, it wasn't a traveling team like Lakenheath, Spangdahlem.
Oh yeah,
we played intramural.
Okay,
they were traveling around playing each other.
Well, while he was playing with the Marines, he was seen by an assistant coach from a JUCO, which kickstarted his college football career that ended after 2 years at Utah, and then he got drafted.
Very cool.
Nice.
So, almost done. Alejandro Villanueva, offensive lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I know this one, too, because I've seen his story.
Yeah. He played 6 seasons from 2014 to present. Two-time Pro Bowler, played 80 games.
His thing was the big when what's his name was kneeling. Everybody was.
He didn't kneel.
He didn't kneel, and he would stand and show respect. So,
it says to present, but I think he finished in 21.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing anymore either.
Yeah, I think he got out. He was done in 2021. So, well, whose choice is it? What's the score?
Jake's.
It's 3-2.
Yeah, Jake's got me by 1.
Oh, 3-2, Jake.
Yeah.
Oh, and Eric knows this one.
Eric knows it, and it's my turn to go first. I thought I said Air Force first last time.
No, because he knew last year.
Yeah.
Right? And then you picked the Bronco from last time. And
you said
Mike Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going Army.
Oh, good choice.
He's Army.
Alejandro Villanueva was Army.
Yeah.
From 2010 to 2013. He
attended good-looking fella.
Yeah. He attended West Point, where he played both offensive line and at receiver.
Wouldn't have seen that.
Maybe a tight end, man. After going drafted in 2010, Villanueva was commissioned in the Army as a second lieutenant. He had 3 separate deployments to Afghanistan for a total of 20 months before being signed by the Eagles in 2014. So,
was he a Ranger? Is that the beret? Is the Ranger beret?
That was during that period of time when they made all the Army wear berets for that couple of years.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They switched because that was supposed to be a Ranger beret, but they said no.
That's what I thought too.
That color, the whole Army's going to get.
All right.
And everybody's like, "Are you effing kidding?" And then they changed it back and realizing how bad.
When you were in the Army, did you wear a beret, Marty?
No. I wore a raspberry beret.
Thank you. I know where you find it at.
All right, last, Lacey Evans. Do you know World War WWE at all? Lacey Evans.
I do not know her.
She's a pro wrestler. Her career was 2014. I think she's still wrestling. She was a one-time heavyweight champion, number 23 on the PWI Female 100 in 2019.
Lacey Evans was Air Force.
Oh, bold.
Yeah. She's got a pretty face. Had to be Air Force.
We're 4-3. This has got to be for all the money, right?
I'm going Navy.
Oh. Lacey Evans was I should let you guys change your answer because you're gonna kick yourself. She was a Marine.
Ooh.
I leaned that way, and I'm like,
yeah.
He is standing tall, man.
He was a Marine from 2009 to 2014.
Sorry, Lacey.
She was a wrestling state champion in high school. Lacey Evans enrolled in the Marines soon after graduating in 2009 and was assigned, Eric, to the Special Reaction Team, the group that is responsible for security at bases when they're under threat or hostage situations.
Very cool.
While in the Marines, Evans obtained her bachelor's degree, started her own construction business, and began her pro wrestling career on the independent circuit. When I read that, I was like, you know, these people who some of the people who make it big, and you go, oh, they started from early on, because the last thing you want to do in the military is like, hey, whose house are we going to go drink? And she's starting a business. She's a wrestling career. She's getting her degree. I'm like, God dang, no wonder she's successful.
Have you guys heard of the Linus program?
The Linus?
lioness, female lioness
Oh, lioness.
program.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So they started picking female military women who were able initially, because it's become a lot more extensive, my understanding, where they would have military women standing by to do searches of potential bad guys, which were women.
Okay.
So men. So it started as that, and now
so
they've become.
She was women searching women, kind of.
Yeah, and then it's turned into women military becoming operatives, where they are embedded as, agents to target and spy. But there's actually a new show called Lioness on, again, Paramount Plus, and it shows these women being embedded as don't go there, showing them being embedded with a potential target of the U.S. and it's specially designed by CIA. But it's an actual program because I Googled it, and
so they called it after the actual program.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I had no idea, but it's called the Lioness program.
Well, I heard there's a program on OnlyFans called The Lioness and the Bear.
I have no comment. I can't confirm nor deny.
That's found on OnlyFans
You
Plus.
You have to pay $7.99 to see that.
Woo! Look at that.
I know. Look at her. Not bad, right?
Lacey's bombing it.
Yeah, Lacey Evans at the crab bake.
Yeah, that's super impressive, man.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah,
her career and everything.
No joke. So that's her. I don't really know any of the female wrestlers. In fact, I haven't known any wrestlers for about 40 years. So.
Oh man.
Oh, that was a long one. That was longer than I thought.
That was fun though.
But I think that's rounds complete. End of mission. And end up, fellas.
Oh, end up. Oh, okay.
End up. On behalf of all of us here, I'd like to thank you for listening today. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let us know how we did in the comments. And as always, make sure to download the next episode for more Service Headline News. Man, thanks for the week, and I'll see you next week.
Shout out to my OnlyFans account.
Yeah, for all your tactical broad chafing videos and research purposes only, go to Mr. History's OnlyFans account.
50% off for the next 2 weeks.
Your subscription is free for a month.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Oh.